I like using whole wheat pasta. Using the whole wheat pasta is a lot better, and I think it tastes better. So she's gonna cook that for me as I show you how to assemble the cheese sauce. Really easy. Almost as easy as doing macaroni and cheese out of the box. Because all you do is you put it in the blender, you blend it, and that's it. I mean, you cook the pasta, blend the cheese, and there you go. It's a 1/3 cup of cashews, the raw cashews, and then I use this coconut milk, the Thai Kitchen coconut milk. There's another brand that you can use also that's called Golden Star. Those two I found are the best to use besides homemade coconut milk because they don't have any additives or preservatives. And then I use these roasted red peppers. I usually use a whole pepper. Another thing you can use besides the red peppers in a can or pimentos, you can use a regular red pepper. For one this size, I would use maybe half of it. This last summer we grew some red peppers in our garden that were called fajita bell peppers, and they turned really bright red like this. I actually like using those in my macaroni and cheese because it gives it a little bit of kick and a little bit of extra flavor. When you use these, it actually makes it more sweet tasting, but I like the fajita bells because it's more of a spicy. Just however you like. And then 1/4 cup of yeast flakes. Then I put onion powder and garlic powder and salt. Onion powder, garlic powder, and salt are pretty much the basic seasonings for any cook, just because they go so well together and can be used in place of actual onion and garlic. They still have the good, what's it called? It makes it healthy, like using regular onion and garlic. The next ingredient would be a 1/3 cup of cornstarch. There are several things you can use in place of cornstarch. There's two you can use that act just the same as cornstarch, and that's arrowroot powder. I know some people are sensitive to cornstarch, so using arrowroot powder is a good substitute for that.
Have you ever tried it with flour?
I haven't tried it with flour, but that is another alternative that you could try. Another alternative would be agar powder, which is seaweed. The last ingredient is water. If you blend half of the water with the ingredients and then add the rest of the water once it's nice and creamy, it actually helps the cashews and the pepper to blend and mix well and get creamy. So I'm going to turn this on. And then once the noodles are cooked, you drain the noodles and put them back in the pot, pour the cheese sauce over it, and stir it until it gets really nice and thick. I usually cook it over medium-high heat because that doesn't quite bring it to a boil, but it gets it hot enough that the cornstarch gets, it helps it thicken. Is put the oil in the pan to heat up a little bit. Do this recipe. However, you can use alternatives like vegetable oil, or you could use something like coconut oil if you're wanting to do that. Is to mix the burger and the water together so that the burger can fluff up.
Did you just use the burger?
You could, however, I think TVP works better with this recipe because it doesn't already have, much flavor on its own already, so it actually does better with the seasonings and all that. TVP is textured vegetable protein, which is pretty much just soy. I know that 3 onions seems like a lot, but onion is pretty much the base of the recipe. It's a very, very healthy recipe. So the onion and the celery and the TVP, it usually sits for about 5 to 10 10 minutes for it to properly fluff up and be ready to use in this recipe. So you can either do it ahead of time, or you can do it while you're letting the vegetables saute. I find that that usually gives it enough time to fluff up. I just use a chopped green bell pepper while that is cooking. You want to be careful not to let it cook too much, because if the onions get a little too browned, it alters the taste of the sloppy joes. It doesn't take very long to saute the onions. They usually go pretty quickly. And this burger looks like it's about done. Still a little bit juicy. I'll let it soak up a little bit more water. As you can see, it's still mostly vegetables. It's more vegetables than burger, which is how you want it because it tastes good. It's very healthy. And it's better than anything you could ever get out of a can. I know a lot of people, when they don't know how to make stuff, so they'll buy the can. But you know all the stuff that's in it, some of that stuff is really not good for you. So it's a lot better to learn how to make it, because some of these recipes are just so easy. You can make them in less than half an hour, and they're delicious too. Alright, now I'm going to move over here and start assembling the sauce that goes in it. Work the best for, well, they're better for you because they have only tomatoes. No salt. No salt.
No citric acid.
No citric acid. Just tomatoes. And you want to use the whole 12-ounce can. Sometimes you can't find 12-ounce cans, so you would use 6-ounce cans, which are easier to find. Brown sugar. I suppose you don't have to use brown sugar. You could probably use honey and it would work just fine. I just use brown sugar because that's what the original recipe said. So that's 4 tablespoons of sugar. And you want to keep stirring the veggie burger and onion mixture to make sure that the veggie burger doesn't burn, because it will if you're not careful. You just want to brown it very lightly. That's a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. An alternative to using lemon juice is apple cider vinegar. I prefer using lemon juice. I added a little extra olive oil because it was sticking. I know that some people who cook vegan food don't like using oil in any of their recipes. I find that it works. I like using oil just because it's convenient and it's healthy. It's not, although some people cannot tolerate oil, so like olive oil. Go ahead and start adding the tomato. Once you add the tomato, you want to just let it kind of continue cooking slowly for about 10 to 15 minutes until it is more done. And that's about it for this. And then you just mix it together until it's a nice paste looking stuff. You just want to get it till all the chunks are gone. Although I don't think it would hurt to have a couple chunks of brown sugar. Okay, the flax is taking forever to boil, but it'll be ready in a minute.
reveals the aftermath of the cooking show. People are now eating the meals they prepared for them. I don't know the name. Enoch? Enocho. There's some meat. Mac and cheese. There she is, Kimberly. Give me some macaroni grease. And we're signing off.